I want to thank this commenter for bringing this story to my attention. I had never heard about this, and it made me cry. Like, I was very emotional about it. It's a really powerful story, and I want to tell it, so let's get into it. The Choctaw Nation was one of the first peoples to be removed forcibly from their ancestral lands in what became known as the Trail of Tears. I think the Cherokee are very well known to have been a part of the Trail of Tears, but the Choctaw Nation was one of the first peoples to be forcibly removed from the southeastern United States to Oklahoma. They had several treaties with the United States government, all of which were broken, all of which were renegotiated on worse and worse terms as time went on. And the Choctaw did the best they could, but they were not able to stand up to the U.S. government and to the future U.S. President Andrew Jackson. So they were forcibly removed from their lands in the Mississippi, along the Mississippi Delta, to what is now Oklahoma. And for those of you who don't know what the Trail of Tears was, it was a forced march. It was men, women, and children forced to walk 1,000 miles with blistered feet, with injuries, with illness, with hunger. They weren't well fed. It was cold, and a lot of people didn't make it. And the Choctaw Nation arrived in Oklahoma in 1831. And none of the tribes that landed in Oklahoma thrived immediately. It was a very difficult land. None of the traditional farming methods that they used that worked in the Mississippi Delta worked in Oklahoma. It just wasn't the same climate. They didn't know this land. And they were forced to survive on the very meager rations that they were given by the US government, which was usually flour, lard, salt. And so they would have been struggling financially for sure in this time period. And the commenter says that the Choctaw sent the people of Ireland $170 in 1848 as a response to the potato famine. They heard about what the Irish were going through, and they knew firsthand what it was like to starve at the hands of colonizers. And so they sent $170. It doesn't sound like very much, but in 1848, that was the equivalent of $5,000. Imagine what $5,000 meant to the Choctaw Nation in this time period. Imagine what $5,000 would have bought the people who were starving in Ireland. They saved the lives of people they didn't even know because they knew what it was like to starve at the hands of a colonizer. And they were being told, I'm sure, by media at the time, by people who were enforcing the terms of these treaties, that they were savages, that they were uncivilized, that they were less than, that they did not have humanity. And they decided to demonstrate their humanity by showing empathy with another people. Now, from what I read on this topic online, and what I read was mostly some Wikipedia articles and a few other short articles about this. From what I understand, the relationship between the country of Ireland and the Choctaw Nation continues to this day. I believe there is a scholarship to the University of Ireland in Dublin for members of the Choctaw Nation to come and study in Ireland. And I understand that there was a visit by the Prime Minister of Ireland in the 90s to the Choctaw Nation. If anybody out there is a member of the Choctaw Nation and knows more about this, or any Irish folks out there who know more about this, I would love to hear more stories about the relationship between the Choctaw Nation and Ireland. But it's a story of what it means to hold on to your humanity in the face of oppression. And if we can hold on to our empathy for each other, if we can keep seeing the humanity in other people, if we are able to maintain a spirit of giving, the way that the Choctaw Nation was able to in this time period, then I think that we as humans will be okay.